Kids with guns. Kids with guns. Taking over.
What's going on, y'all? It's the Review a New podcast. We're here live together at last once again. You know what I'm saying? To give it to you. I just happen to be visiting in Winston-Salem, and my homeboy Will's with me. So let's do the formal introduction. I'm DJ,
and I'm Will the Greatest.
That's right. I don't have to edit it this time to put us together. And this is the Review a New podcast, the podcast where we look at our or your favorite pieces of media, be they movies, albums, or motherfucking TV shows with the Boondocks, reviewing that exclusively on the Patreon. Get with it, act like you want it, patreon.com/rapcritic, or make your movie or album request, kofi.com/rapcritic. You know what I'm saying? I got to get all the, business nonsense out of the way so we can get the fuck into it. Thank you so much to Dr. Goatman for your request for weapons. Let's fucking have this motherfucking discourse and get the fuck into it. So, you said when did you see the movie?
I saw it, I want to say a couple weeks after release. That was one of the ones I was definitely intrigued in. Okay, I have a question for you before we get into it. Did you see Barbarian?
Yes, I did. Yeah, same guy. Yeah.
Have you seen Whitest Kids You Know?
No, but someone showed me the hot dog skit.
Have you seen the Abe Lincoln skit?
Oh, of course, I've seen that one. Yeah.
So it's
Wait, is that related to this?
No, but it's just like I have such an interesting relationship with Zach Kreger as a director because I believe he is also the director of, I don't think you've seen this one, Mrs. March.
No, I don't know that one.
Mrs. March is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. In my
What?
life.
What's that one about?
Mrs. March, I believe, was like one of those. It was in that period of high school comedies when they had that resurgence, like that post-American.
Oh
Pie,
yeah, the teen
straight
sex
to DVD.
comedies. Yeah.
So it was like a Whitest Kids You Know version of that. Where
That's
it was like,
interesting.
I think it was two. I'm misremembering the plot, but it's like I think it was two high school guys try to get to one of their. He tried to tell this girl or find his girlfriend or something.
A road trip type movie.
Yeah, a road trip movie before she premieres or shoots as like a Playboy bunny.
Oh my god, this is so early 2000s road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the, and then in coming to, so it's been about 10, 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, Playboy still being a relevant thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's early 2000s, all right.
I feel like Weapons has, after watching Barbarian, and now with Weapons, I'm like, okay, Zach, apology accepted.
He's got the stink off of him of that.
Apology accepted.
'cause,
all is forgiven.
I've had my issues with Barbarian, and I have my issues with this movie as well.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I think these movies are really good. Now, a lot of people have pointed out, it's doing something. It's like, when people notice what someone is doing, they'll just call it ripping it off instead of it just being a style that he's doing of storytelling.
It's just a style or just
of just like,
that's okay.
You have something happen, get up to a really creepy point, and then you cut back and then show how that character got there. It's like, I actually think that's kind of, like, at first when you're watching it, it can feel kind of like, oh, you're allowed to get the cheap scare, and then you can pull back without really having to explain it yet.
Yeah, it's like, I don't really find that to be a critique unless it's done ineffectively.
Right, because the way he does it is it goes to another character and it goes to how they got to that point. I think that's actually a cool way of telling the story, so now you don't have to be completely linear. Yeah.
For the most part here, it works aside from, and my only critique of it is more so its focus on a character and the length of it. Not so much that it exists.
Yeah, right. I get you on that.
It's a stylistic choice and an editing choice.
Definitely. So, it's a non-linear sort of storytelling thing, but I think it's done with good effect. Like, it's not just done for no reason. I see how it's.
It works. It generally works for me because it does make it stand out as a final product. It's the thing.
It has a different rhythm. Yeah.
The thing that sucks about like watching more and more things and then reflecting on it to engage in a discussion about it. Sure. You start to notice stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So
and I don't like when I notice it because the analysis brain. I'm not like FD Signifier where it's like, I when I love something I hyperfixate on and I have to analyze it. I'm kind of the opposite where it's like I like enjoying something. Rarely do I like to analyze it too much. Because,
right.
So if I talk to you,
let me have this.
If I talk to like you or Aaron, and they put something out, I'm like, fuck.
See, look at it, ruining entertainment for our best friends since 2018 or whatever.
No, my personality for the next 3 weeks.
No. But
so we can go into the premise.
And my thing, like a big thing about this movie. By the way, spoiler alert, we're about to get the fuck into
Weapons.
it. Yeah. But a big thing that I've noticed is like a motif of like movies around this time of just like fear of old people in general. Like, because there was the movie Old, there was Nosferatu, which was about, oh my god, look at this old man coming at you. His previous movie, was the Barbarian old? I don't think she was.
Barbarian was a little bit more, had to do, I believe, with like things like maternity.
Yeah. But then there's X as well, that with Pearl, you know. But again, I think X is probably the best out of this old people are scary thing, because it was a sort of like her sexuality that she wants to get back, and seeing how that plays out in the movie. Like,
someone request that. I wouldn't mind.
I would going back to that one as well. I was actually thinking about that.
That is a fascinating trilogy to watch.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, it starts okay, it peaks really hard.
Ooh, Pearl.
And then it ends okay.
Yeah, right. Like, X is great. Pearl is incredible. The story with Pearl and the way it ends, oh, guys, you got to see Pearl.
From an acting standpoint, I just...
Yes! Oh, my God. Mia
Pearl.
Goth, incredible. And Maxine is okay, you know.
Yeah, and then Maxine,
fine.
And then Maxine, like, oh, all right.
Yeah, it's like an unconventional trilogy. All right, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, how this movie starts with is like, creepy little girl telling you the story about how, like, this story that I'm telling you is true, but no one would believe anyone because no one wanted to admit to it, because the way it rolled out was so embarrassing for the police and everyone involved that they kind of just wanted to forget about it. And it's like, as the movie goes on, yeah, I totally get why they would be kind of embarrassed about it, but the thing that kept niggling at me as a someone watching a piece of film and going like, yeah, in the early 2000s and before, you could have an event like this happen and no one would kind of figure it out. But in today's day and age, it's like, I feel like there's just so many smartphones around, someone would see something, especially with how the movie ends. You know what I'm saying?
Jason Pargin, I think, brought this up in one of his videos where he was talking about both the cultural fear and the realistic reaction to violence.
Yeah, okay.
It's basically an argument that it's like people fear violence, but the reality is people are actually a lot more compassionate than they would lead themselves to believe. Because it's like, if you take the premise of something like weapons, if a classroom of 17 kids, now again, we can get into metaphors and things like that later, but in real life, if a classroom of 17 kids just like up and disappeared, this would be a national story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now granted, for people's interpretations of it, which I think are actually different than what the director has stated, but it's not bad, because that's the point of the discussion.
It's art.
But a lot of people believe that it's a metaphor for school shootings. He's actually he's put it as like a way for him to kind of process.
It's like showing the reverse of a school shooting, where it's just like you don't see the violence; they just disappear. Yeah.
So his hasn't said it wasn't really inspired by that, but he understands that. But he's like, interpretation
by nature of the beast.
Yeah, what you're gonna take from it is like, he's not gonna say that people are wrong. He's just like, that wasn't his intention.
Yeah.
So something like children disappearing has made national. It frequently does.
Yeah.
When like terrible things happen, so it's like, it's like. But to your point, ultimately, in this day and age, a tragedy on this scale would be significantly larger than just this community.
Yeah.
But there could be something said about the...
Oh, now I'm thinking about the volume of this stuff happening so much that
people get desensitized. Now, I don't think that's reality, but that is like
an element.
An element, because it's just actually, okay.
Well, the thing about it is, it's not a messy death. They just disappear. So I think that's easier to get lost, I think.
Yeah.
But I feel like the way it ends with what happens with the main villain, like, okay, I think people would notice that.
The ending for Weapons and the ending of Sinners are competing with me for the best ending of the year. Like, that's
it's so intense.
Because I love...
Like the energy of it,
Well, I love when a director reminds you of the other things that they've done in terms of what you're referring to style. Like the other example I use for this is, I mentioned this to you before you saw it, is like something like Malignant by James Wan.
Oh,
where
man.
Malignant tells you, this is the director of The Conjuring, this is the director of Saw, this is the director of Aquaman.
Yeah, right? That movie is wacky.
And so for this one, it's like 90%, oh, this is the guy that did Barbarian. And then, like, the last 8 minutes is, oh, that's right, he did do Whitest Kids You Know.
Yeah, I know. And it's just this...
He did comedy for years.
This manic energy as it ends is insane.
Yeah.
I like how the movie explores these themes of, like, public scares and how people... The fallout of how people react from that. As well as these feelings of, like... helplessness when you're a kid sometimes, of like feeling like at home and at school you don't really have anywhere to go. Like, as I was watching this movie, the main character kid, I felt so fucking bad for him. Just like, this man has
the worst, I think, life I've seen for a kid in a while.
Jesus Christ.
It's just that had to be the worst couple of months. I think, how old was he, like 9, 10?
Yeah, maybe like 9 or 10.
Credit to his acting. He sold
I believe him,
that
yeah.
vulnerability and that, like, desperation.
Yeah.
I think it also plays in that point of, and a lot of other stories have taken this as a focal point, too. Who can you really tell, and then what can they do?
Right, yeah,
So it's like, I talk with this in my, like, the other aspects of my personal professional work. I tell people a lot of time, it's like your home is genuinely seen as like a pure place of, ideally it should be a place of pure vulnerability. So not only are you a child, the safest place you should be is 1 at home and 2 with your parents. You have lost security in both of those. Your home has been essentially taken over, and your parents are just as much victims as you are.
Yeah.
And so it's like, where are you supposed to go?
Yeah.
And now you're a child. What are they gonna do?
Yeah.
What's another adult gonna do that your parents can't do?
Yeah. And it's so, like, oh man, it is, you feel so bad for this kid.
This kid
like, really gets it.
How it starts too is rather harrowing, and I do like how they marketed this.
Yeah.
Kept everything super. It held.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't know what was happening until I watched it. Yeah.
The trailer gives you the first 20 minutes and then snippets of the rest with no context.
Yeah.
So the whole time I'm remembering the trailer, I'm like, well, what's the context? How did this happen? What's going on with this person? And it unfolds and unravels perfectly. So this movie was marketed greatly. But how it focused with Julia Garner's character as the teacher is also its own type of nightmare.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what the fuck happened to my kids?
Right. Yeah, the movie kind of starts with, like, it just shows, in the night, a whole bunch of, like, doors are opened, and these kids are just doing, Naruto runs fucking into the night, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Which was done very eerily. I give them
Yeah,
credit.
and the song that they're playing, it's so crazy. It's like, what's it called? Something about, hold on, it's called, Beware of Darkness is playing while these kids are running. And I like the lyrics about, like, beware of greedy leaders. You know what I'm saying? So already as I'm watching this movie, I don't know what's happening, but I'm like, what type of Pied Piper situation is happening? What type of fucking R. Kelly bullshit is going on right now? You know what I mean? I'm like,
You're not far off.
Yeah, right? Like, in a certain way. Now, the one thing I don't like about the movie is how we see the mechanics of what the witch is doing versus the actual mechanics of what she wants ultimately, because I feel like we don't really see that as much as we see the build up to her controlling people and stuff like that. So like when I first watched it, I wasn't sure what her plan was. Again, like it was just kind of alluded to in little moments, but it was like the bigger moment was her hypnotizing people. The moments of her actually doing what she does, you kind of don't really see that as much. You kind of just left to figure that out from, she's kind of got longer hair now. She kind of looks like she's a little more, because when you first see her, she looks completely like she's about to die. But then she kind of looks better, but she never looks too great. You know what I mean?
No,
like, so you can kind of miss it, And she puts makeup on a lot of times, so it's all, she's hiding it a lot, So yeah.
What I kind of noticed too is that, because you can definitely tell that while this is a witch, an entity with an insane amount of power, it is also, at least in observing that, because what I was kind of expecting was to see, she's gonna start sucking the youth or sucking the life force out of all these kids to get like younger and things are gonna start healing.
Right.
She stayed pretty rough looking.
Yeah, I know.
Now granted, we didn't really see her like consuming a lot of
That's
people.
my thing. I wish we actually saw her do, because by the end of the movie, all the kids are fine. They don't look like they're, Akira old kids looking, you know what I mean? Like, they look like they're fine. So I'm like, well, like, there is the threat of, like, kids in darkness, you're kind of scared, but, like, nothing really happens to them, I feel like, which, great. I'm glad the kids are fine and get their, she gets her just desserts,
I'm not bothered. This is a case where it's like, I think enough of the story is there where it's like there is
you do get what's happening. They allude to the parasitic sort of thing going on.
And
I remember someone said, I was talking to my friend, they said like, the movie should have been called Parasite, but that was taken.
Well, Time to go
Yeah.
on something. So it's like I'm relatively okay with, because of how it ends up, that like, you know, none of the kids are hurt, and then she
Yeah,
gets
right.
her just desserts. It does mechanically, I think, leaves an opening.
Yeah.
I think is what it is that can be dissatisfying. It
Right, I
doesn't-
think that's why some people were giving it trouble, because I heard some people were giving it trouble, but when I watched it, I was like, there's a couple of things, but like it's a fine plot overall, and I like how it's told. Like it's a simple story told in a way that like gives you the perspective of each person. Like
Yeah.
I think it's like a mini Rashomon sort of thing going on. You know what I mean?
And I think what's interesting too is like they're not so much. I think it's a flip on the flawed narrator, where it's like it's not flawed narrators; they're flawed people.
Yeah.
But from their perspective,
Yeah.
how they're going to engage with a situation that is well beyond their pay grade
No, you're
is
right.
going to be unique, because like each one of them,
Every one of them is very flawed.
yeah, all of the narrators have mess or troubles or problem, including the kid.
Mhm.
Ultimately,
Yeah, yeah.
because they're operating against a force that's beyond their control. But I think what ends up being interesting about The Witch too is that like it kind of with that opening being there about like how the magic and spells and everything and hypnotism works, it does almost kind of give a message of like this is an exercise in futility, where she's doing all this in an act of self-preservation,
Yeah, okay, that's.
but she fails.
Yeah, but there's another level. Like, the more you learn about the movie, the more you're like, well, I kind of feel a little bad for her, because it's like it's about a woman who's dying and
Yeah.
doesn't want to die. Like, I get you're trying, because
There's a human aspect
Yeah,
to
right.
that, in the same way that any well, just like in the movie they referenced like parasitic creatures,
Yeah.
they'll do anything to survive.
Yeah.
Like fungi,
Right.
You know, like cordyceps and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, the purpose, and that's how she basically acts, is akin as just like the you know, queen brain of
Yeah,
a
yeah.
hive mind. But ultimately, it is in an effort to survive. So it's like that is where a very small amount of human compassion can contend.
Right.
But when you get the context on top of what you're doing to necessitate yours, because
Yeah, stealing people's kids. Like, I'm sorry, as soon as you start stealing kids,
you're
empathy
not
goes
gonna
out the window.
which is interesting, because like I wonder if the perspective would have been different if it was adults.
If it,
So same premise, but it's like, let's say it's like
she was going after them instead.
yeah, like an Amazon warehouse. Or even more,
Oh, yeah.
or like there's an argument where it's like if it were all these kids' parents, it's just like, you know, 17, 20 some odd parents just disappear, and these kids are left,
Yeah.
you know, on some Goosebumps shit.
Oh man,
That sounds like a
that would be the
missing Goosebumps
sequel.
moment.
The sequel is
Yeah.
like the kid realizes how much power he has, and then he starts manipulating people. But no, so they set up that the police did an investigation, but they found
Yeah.
no leads. Although what annoys me is that as Josh Brolin starts to investigate himself,
Start figuring shit out real fast.
yeah, and I'm like,
Which-
okay, they didn't think to do that. They're like, which direction did the kids go from the ring light camera? You know what I mean?
I mean,
Incompetent ass cops.
Oh, that's like-
Let's talk about it.
it's like I'm not gonna say that all of them are, but there is a precedence there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like, if you know, on the one hand they're cops, that doesn't innately make them like good detectives.
Yeah. And I think with the main character who is a cop,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm not a detective. I'm just here to like, just
I think that's a
be a black and white
that
on
might
the
be
street.
this is a defense or an excuse, but it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, you're trained to like protect and serve and act as a reaction
True.
to something,
Yeah.
but not to one prevent it, or two maybe investigate it further than some, because you call in a whole nother team.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
call in the
yeah,
crime
that's
scene
true.
investigators.
That's right.
It's like, well, what are they doing? It's like, no.
Yeah. And there's another level where like, even though, all right, we're on the internet, ACAB, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There is a humanity that he's given where like
Yeah.
something happens to him, and I completely understand why he reacted the way he reacted. But it was one of those things where it's like, but you're still a cop, and you need to be trained better than
Yes.
that. Like there is
Yes.
that level, right? But we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
So
So we're starting with
yeah,
Julia Garner's.
that's
character
right. At
first.
they have the I guess parent teacher meeting.
Yeah, I think it was a PTA meeting that she was attending.
Yeah.
That they actually show some of that in the trailer, where essentially like the principal and some of the other board members of the school.
Principal played by B.D. Wong, playing
Really?
great in the pocket.
Him and Julia Garner like really Julia Garner
Yeah.
in particular, because I saw
Of course.
Fantastic Four: First Steps, and that's the
Oh,
ear
I guess
here.
that is her. Whoa.
I got whiplash.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn.
This is
I'm
a different
sorry.
person.
I wasn't hip to your game, madam. Didn't know I was sleeping on you like this.
Yeah. So, she's treated badly by all of the parents who are like, because, all these kids left her classroom
class.
except for one.
Yeah.
And, there's the question of like, well, what the hell happened? Did you do something? Why your classroom? What's going on? Now, there is the manner of, but except for one student, which I would be pressing that student all day, every day, and their parents and what's going on with that, because like, well, what the fuck? Why are you the
why
one
your
who did?
kid?
Because they did interview him and go like, ask him like, was there any plans you heard about? Was there anything you knew about? And da-da-da. And he was like, no, I don't know anything. I don't know what happened. And they kind of do a sneaky little thing where they have a moment where they show you like him being investigated.
Yep.
And you see like the dad kind of sitting there and you don't really see who's off to the right, but you don't think about it. So you're just like, oh yeah, he just looks like, he's like, oh, I didn't see what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
Nothing weird happened here. But
Yeah, it's like, it's one of those things where like, hey, I just came to school today. I didn't know anything that was going to happen, so I don't know what's going on. So in the conference, all the teachers, all the parents are kind of like, we want answers from you. What's going on? What do you know? And da-da-da. They start like, they're trying to do a conference, but they have to stop it because everyone gets too unruly. Yeah. And they tell her like, okay, go home, just sleep it off and try to not think about this for now. She cuts off to a bar and ends up meeting with an old flame who already is dating someone, but they're like, oh, come on, have a drink with me. Let's just talk and chill for a minute.
We're just friends.
Yeah.
We're just buddies.
Then it smash cuts to the next morning. She's like playing music to wake him up because, and he says he's got a hangover, so it's like, oh, okay. It's like, he said he didn't want to drink and he didn't want to hang out too long. Then the smash cuts to her waking him up in his bed,
I think
in
that
her
was
bed.
a point too that during the conversation he had said it's like, oh, what about your girlfriend? It's like, oh, we're having a fight right now.
Yeah, that's right. He does say
Which,
yeah.
which and in the as the cycle of events unfolds and I'm watching the first time, I'm like, oh, okay, they had a fight. They're not together.
Right.
Fine, he was an old flame. Why not?
Right.
Boy, was I wrong.
Right.
Motherfuckers lie.
I know, right? So that just goes to show, like, everyone is kind of shitty in this movie right now.
Yeah, it's like, well, shit. Egg on my face for trusting
for trusting the cop.
Yeah, for trusting the cop. God forbid the cop.
But yeah, she goes to her work. Like now, despite how, you could say she was kind of like, pushing him into it sort of thing. So you could say, she kind of holds some blame too as well, right? But when it comes to the kids, she seems to she's really caring and she actually really cares about them. BD Wong calls her in, basically admonishing her for doing that and being like, you get too close to the kids, and it's like, hugging a kid is not appropriate. It's like, and she's like, it was a crying kid. What do you want me to do? And it's like, and trying to tell them like, you're not their parents, and if you get too close like this, it causes people to be like, who is this person who's getting really close to my, kid? And it's like, and she keeps justifying herself. She's like, there's one kid who couldn't get home. Like it was on the way home. Why not give the kid a ride? Like I'm trying to do good here. And he's like, look, I know that you care, but it doesn't look that way to the parents who want to vilify you in any way they can. So just lay low, stay away from the school for a while, essentially, which she's not able to do. She comes back like a couple of times and it's like, oh my God, this doesn't look good. Stay away from the school.
Girl, stay home.
Right.
Because I think she was on a time suspension.
Yeah, and she was like, I just want to talk to the kid. Can I just talk to the kid that was in my class? And he's like, no, you can't talk to the kid because, this kid's already been run ragged through the press and things like that. He probably just wants to be left alone, and this is probably it'll probably cause more trouble if you are, seen with the kid and talking to the kid. So it's kind of like damn it, she can't do anything about this.
Yeah, it's stuck because you get stuck in what happens to a lot of people is just like navigating, litigation and bureaucracy where it's like doing the right thing is not the same as doing what is appropriate for a place of work. Especially if you're working at I presume a public school?
Yeah, it was like a pre-K through 5th grade.
Yeah, so if it's like a public institution, even if it was a private institution, you still have rules and codes that you ethically have to abide by.
Yeah.
Too. So it's just it's a lot of red tape and oversight.
Which sucks, especially if you're dealing with vulnerable children who probably could use a hug.
Vulnerable and volatile. Or it's sometimes a kid just does need a sit down or a juice box, or parents are in compromised positions where it's in an effort to allegedly protect children, you can run into the issue where it can segregate community, and it's hard.
You cross boundaries, yeah.
You can cross, and it's hard to figure out what is best for a kid. Where it's like, if this, kid's parent doesn't get off till like 7 p.m.
Right.
and the teacher's still here at like,
all right, what am I supposed to do? Yeah.
it's just like, well, can you like call your mom and dad to give me permission, and then you do it, and then
Right,
it's like,
sure.
you were supposed to do it. So it's like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
tough. I would extend the empathy to like teachers that probably are in this precarious
Right,
position
right.
more often, where it's like, I want to do something that I know emotionally will help this child.
Mm.
However, there is now a bound where like a parent may not be cool with that.
Yeah. But so essentially, oh yeah, I remember thinking at first it's like, because she follows the kid home after a while, Mrs. Gandy, or what's her name in the? It's a J name, Justine. Justine Gandy is her name, and so she follows the one kid home one day to sort of like see what's up and what might be going on. He goes into the house, and you see like newspaper up around the first floor's windows. And I was, of course, as you're watching the movie, it's a sort of, whoa, what's the mystery of that?
Right.
But then I was thinking, like, if you just didn't have that newspaper there and then just kept everyone who you were trying to hide just in the back, you know what I mean? Like, no one would have seen that, so it would have caused less suspicion. Like, why would you? But then I was kind of thinking, when she calls B.D. Wong's character and is like, there was newspaper up around the house, like, doesn't that look suspicious? But B.D. Wong actually makes a point where she's like, yeah, maybe a whole bunch of people have been nosy in the last couple of weeks and they're trying to keep him out. So I was like, damn, that's actually kind of a good point.
Yeah.
And so you going around snooping doesn't look too great, but she ends up like, looking around the house to sort of see like where she can look in. She goes to the back. There happens to be a bit of the newspaper that's ripped off, and she kind of looks inside and she sees like the two parents sitting there. And at first she's like freaks out and, falls down and knocks over a shovel or something like that. But then she kind of like looks again to be like, wait a minute, they didn't seem like they were moving, and she notices that there's like blood coming down from one of their mouths or something like that. And so that's when she makes the call to sort of be like, what's going on? I want to like investigate.
I want to give Zach Kreger so much credit on directing the tone of that sequence because
the scares are genuinely well built up. Yeah,
that was one where I was like holding on to my chair. I'm like, the jump scare is coming.
Yeah, right.
The absence of it and like the weird sort of like expectation.
Yeah.
Just slowly, it's like you're getting.
It's like, oh no,
something's gonna come up, and then it's like just nothing. It's like
them just sitting there, but then it's like, wait, why are they just sitting there?
It doesn't deflate the tension.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in another director's hands where you're just like, it's like, why aren't they jumping up to scare me?
Yeah.
So it's like now it goes from concern to intrigue.
Yeah. Then she's told to back off, so she backs off. But then that night she has a dream about walking into school like late at night and then seeing all of the kids with their heads down in the desk, but then seeing the one kid who was still there kind of like lift his head up with like clown makeup on or something like that, looking really creepy as he's smiling. And she wakes up and freaks out. And this is the most annoying fucking thing. She has the double fucking fake out dream, which I would like be annoyed at in a film if I didn't know how true that fucking was. Like, how many times does that fucking happen when you have the double fake out dream? Because she like wakes up, looks down the hall just to sort of make sure nothing's happening, and then when she lies back down, she looks up and she sees the witch, and she's like, fuck it, and then she wakes up.
That's
again.
the shit that I'm like.
That was some annoying shit.
All right.
Like I said,
got me.
I hate how real that was though. Yeah. But yeah, so after that, she's so what ends up happening is she's keeps being curious about checking up on the kids. So she basically does a stakeout where she hangs out in front of the kid's house to sort of see what'll happen. And the places these people hang out, they don't even like try to be inconspicuous. They're like right across the street.
They're in like a cul-de-sac, and he was just like
I know.
a couple doors down.
I was like, okay, can you like go around the corner or something?
Yeah.
But
just slightly inconspicuous, like they haven't seen your car with witch sprayed on the side.
Right, not exactly the most inconspicuous car. Yeah, it's literally at one point someone painted witch on the side of her house, and yeah, there's a freak out moment where someone ding dong ditches her twice, and the second time when she goes out, she looks across to see who it might be, and then she looks at her car, and yeah, it's got the witch painted in red.
Now, I will say, it was one of those moments where I did feel a little vindicated when you get to the end, when they spray painted it, and I'm like, I wonder if it's a witch in this movie. I'm like, nah. Well, nah.
Yeah.
And that got me like,
just not who you think it is.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, is it her that's the witch? Well,
Yeah.
who's the so
The whole time when I was watching the movie, I was thinking, because it's like the only people we're given are the kid and her, and I'm thinking. I was thinking the kid did something, like, because it's like, oh, he's getting bullied at school. Maybe he came up with some sort of
I'm just like, oh man, he got revenge, like motherfucker.
What I thought was happening was that he like found some voodoo shit that could like, oh, all these kids hate him at school, so maybe I'll manipulate all these kids to come over to my house and hang out with me, and then like I'm a popular kid. That's what I was thinking was that, because a lot of a movie like this is kind of like there is a bit of a like fantasy for kid element of. Imagine a kid just being able to run down the street at night and just feel safe. Like there's this weird, twisted sense of like, kid rebellion there. Yeah, in a way that was like, oh, kids should not watch this movie because it's not good to show them images of kids just running out in the street at night. Yeah, exactly.
Running into the forest and
exactly.
And...
Yeah. So but what I didn't like was, okay, so we have the moment where she's staked outside, she's sitting there waiting for something else to happen. It's nighttime rolls around and she kind of falls asleep, and then you see the angle of the house with the door open and you just see blackness in there, and then you just see a woman walk out looking really weird with the scissors.
I liked this sequence played out real. I loved it.
So I liked it, but it annoyed me to a certain degree because, look, maybe it's just white people in the suburbs, but y'all need to lock your fucking car doors. Are you kidding me?
Okay, I'll give you that. No, I'll give you that one.
Because what happens is...
how the fuck did she get...
Yeah, you see, like, her walking around, getting to the car and walking around it, and you're like, oh, fuck, what's gonna happen? And then you hear a car door open, and you're like... Bitch, you didn't lock your door. You're stinking out on this weird ass situation. You didn't lock your fucking door.
But even just like the build up with the scissors, and she took it. I'm like, oh, it's a wrap for her.
I know. I thought it was gonna be some psycho shit.
And then she just took the hair,
snips the hair, and it's like, ah, what's going on? Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Right.
That's still weird.
That's still weird. Yeah, like, what's going on, though? I still need to know what's happening. And what essentially ends up... Do we want to say it now? Or, fuck it. Well,
we're spoilers.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, spoilers. Because what I don't like about it is that, like, it's a cool, creepy moment, but it then annoys me where it's like, okay, you got this lock of her hair, and what it is revealed is that getting a personal artifact of someone, can lead you to controlling them, and then getting another like artifact and you like snap it around a vine or something like that will cause that person to go attack them essentially.
Yeah.
But my question was that it's like, okay, but you got a lock of her hair, couldn't you just use that to either control her or just use the person who just had some scissors to go stab her in the throat? Like, why not just get rid of her now? You know what I'm saying? Like, or if you're trying to control her, get the lock of the hair, control her now, and now she's just out of the picture. Hey, everyone in town hates her anyway. Who would even miss her? Like, I just wish they did something with that as opposed to just I like that the movie does interesting subversion of scares, but then when I consider how the plot rolls out, it's like, okay, but what I always think about in movies, especially in horror movies, is like, what is the motivation of the villain? What do they actually want? And throughout the movie, you're like, okay, these kids are being kidnapped. Like, what does this person want with these kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck what type of Pied Piper shit is going on? So then, in a typical horror movie, when someone's like, in the bathroom, they're brushing their teeth, and they do the thing where they close the window mirror, and we see someone walking around in the background, and you're like, ooh, that's scary. But in real life, if someone was trying to kill you, why would they just walk around your house? Wouldn't they just go right up to you and kill you? Are they looking for
the vibes?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Set the mood.
So, but that's what I mean. It's like, what is the motivation of the guy just walking behind you a couple of times before coming up to you? Why don't they just do the thing? And in this movie, there's that feeling of like, you got her dead to rights right here. Why can't you just do the thing? And in fact, what ends up happening is the next day, previous that day, she had called B.D. Wong, basically talking about like, can we do some sort of investigation or something, because something's going on. This kid, is like, probably still, we got to do something with this because something is up, and I can't put my finger on it, but let's at least try to ask some more questions, essentially. And we then get the moment where it's the next day where Josh Brolin's character finds her at a gas station and is basically kind of like giving her the fourth degree and being like, well, you need to like, as you need to tell us what's going on with what's going on. And it's kind of bullshit too, where he's like, stop with this victim complex that you have. It's like, Bitch, she's been haunted by the
Yeah.
whole city. People calling her and fucking going, I'm gonna get you and all that sort of shit.
Ding
Like,
dong ditch in her house. I
right?
don't think
Are
we
you fucking
touched
kidding?
on that.
And then it
part,
turns
too.
out he was the one that was doing it because who else would have had red paint but him, as they show in the movie? So I'm like, okay, you're fucking with this woman, and then you're getting mad at her for fucking reacting to you. It's like, isn't this just modern day shit, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, why are you reacting to me getting angry at you? You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck you expect people to do, you know?
But to your point too about the mother and everything coming out, it's like what comes to mind is kind of two things. On the one hand, it's I wonder if the witch didn't see her fully as a threat at that point,
Maybe.
or it's just like right now the town is already against her, so I don't really have a reason to kill her.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
Maybe she had some ulterior purpose. But then also, as we see later with B.D. Wong's
Right.
character, she does use him as the vehicle to attack her.
Right.
So she would have needed it probably.
I think when she...
But your argument still makes sense of just like, why not have the mom kill her?
Yeah.
But I guess because it would have been a lot of work to get rid of like a body and a truck in the middle of the night.
But see, I think that, but like, when I think about how the kids sort of like, okay,
That's what it is. It would have been too suspicious to have to
Sure.
frame, whereas like the teacher is already getting a lot of heat, so attention's on her.
Yeah.
If she died out of nowhere
in front of the house.
in front of the
In
house,
front of his, yeah,
And then
that
the
might
kids-
that's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
But then I think, like, because that's a good
so
point.
the hair helps,
Right. But then I also think about the fact that, like, okay, it's actually a brilliant in the cover, like, the way that the kids are essentially kidnapped at the beginning, right? Like, oh, they're gone in the cover of night. You don't see where they are. But then when B.D. Wong ends up attacking her, it's like, well, this is in the middle of the day. Like, a man with blood on his face running at a woman. It's like, okay, people are going to notice that. Like, and like I said, if this took place in the early 2000s, it would be different where no one would have a phone to be like, oh, whoa, look what's happening at this gas station. But in 2025, it's like, well, someone's going to notice that. You know what I mean?
Also, ultimately, to your point about like what, and we'll get to that soon with what happens later. Then that means because she's far enough away and with the gas station attacking everything, had he gotten her, everything could have been pinned on the principal.
Yeah,
Because
that he
his
just
husband
went
was already
mad.
dead by that point.
Yeah. Oh, wow. And then what happened? But he gets hit by a car, so he just dies before anyone can really ask any questions. That's essentially what happens.
Yeah, so it's just like, yeah, her plan actually does have kind of some legs to it. now that I think about it.
And then you see Josh Brolin, so we kind of have this moment with him where he has the nightmare of seeing his kid run out, and like this sort of like you could feel the helplessness of like, oh shit, I'm just trying to catch up to my kid, and he keeps running and he runs into this house, and then this is the really ominous moment where he looks up and you just see
The
like
not Chekhov's gun.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like darkness up above, and then it's like the darkness as you see clouds behind it sort of shift into an AK-47 that has the time that the kids were taken on, like 2:17, and it just looks so ominous and creepy. It's just like, what the fuck?
That was probably the biggest point of the movie where I'm like, well, I mean, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck was that?
That was one of those ones that had to be explained. So.
And again, the movie's called Weapons. The whole time, I'm bracing myself for a battle royale scene where like a bunch of kids are gonna like, I don't know, start robbing stores or something like that, and they're like, give us all the money and just spraying everyone or something like that. And it's like, how the fuck do we put kids down? Oh no!
Apparently, like cognitively, that was like a homing beacon.
What are you saying? Yeah,
I think that was what was told. Is that that's like the
thing that was pulling him.
Yeah, like a mental homing beacon for, I think, the kids.
Like, and I think, like I said, the allusion to the school shooting thing of like, that's what's going to be in the back of any parent's mind these days.
Yeah.
What happened,
like,
and
specifically, if that is true, where it's like, oh, that was just like a beacon, intentionally making it a gun with like a cartridge or
with the time on it.
Yeah, with the time on it, it's like. I mean, how do you not get the school shooting comparison?
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's just like, well, that wasn't my intent, which is fair because artistic intent and impact.
I mean, it is cool how that can happen, right? Where it's like, I wasn't even thinking that, but
I'm
then,
like, but you put a big ass gun and a bunch of kids disappeared.
I know.
And I'm like, what do you expect me to think?
Yeah. But
what else were we supposed to
But
think?
it's like I can feel how things like that can happen, where you're like, I just had this cool idea, and then it just, by nature of how humanity is engaging with shit right now, of course it fell into that. Yeah,
I can only imagine what the conversations were where someone's like, "Oh yeah, do you think it was like a metaphor for school shootings?" And he's just like, oh shit.
Yeah, right. That moment.
Like, it
oh
just-
god damn it!
oh,
I didn't even think.
it's
Oh
like-
fuck.
It's like, oh, damn, they got me.
Maybe
Fair enough.
look, it's in the what do you call it? It's in the background consciousness of everyone
Yeah.
right now. So it's just
It's like, well, that
falling
wasn't
out
my
the front.
intent, but now that you bring it up,
Yeah.
I can see how a couple things.
Now I will say, okay, so the three main characters that we follow end up seeing the witch in, well, two of them see it in the dream, but the junkie
Yeah.
just sees her in the
In
the
life.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of threw me off. I was like, because it doesn't seem like she has that type of power. It seems like she just is able to use the vine stick to do stuff. So I was just feeling like it's like. I feel like it's one of those, sure, this is a movie cheating, but it's that sort of like, you have a certain premonition about something, you're not 100% sure. And that's why, I felt like you don't really get a good look at the witch too well, I feel like, in all of these scenes, right? So it
Yeah,
just feels like there's something that's scary, but people don't really know what it is. That's what I thought that they were kind of doing, right?
I'm about to Michael Jordan reach with this
What?
one. I wonder if the relationship that each of the characters may have had to the kids led to a degree of psychic connection, almost by extension.
Because it's after the junkie goes down and sees the kid
Well-
that he ends up seeing the witch in the forest. I remember
because
that, yeah.
the main ones, it happens to Julia Garner, who's their teacher.
Right.
It happens to a dad of
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
the kids.
yeah.
So it's like, it would kind of make sense that, like, if the kids are reaching out or there's some sort of, like,
A weird psychic,
psychic
thing is
tether,
happening. Yeah,
but it
yeah.
doesn't
Ooh, yeah.
happen to the cop, and then
Yeah.
the junkie sees her in real life.
Yeah. Well, the cop doesn't come across the house until he's
until
already
later.
caught.
until it's already caught. So it's like he doesn't see her in any other form,
Mhm.
and then the junkie sees her in real life. So I think you could, again, this is a reach,
Yeah.
but it's like you could maybe have it be like, oh, she's already in the kid's head. It went over to those that were
Right.
close to
Again,
him.
the psychic tether thing. I like that
Yeah.
as an idea.
where it's like, had some of the other parents maybe dug down and tried to look for her, that might have happened. But
Yeah.
it doesn't see, I don't know why specifically those two,
Right.
because that opens like a new hole.
Yeah, like what is
Why
going
not
on?
the other parents?
Yeah. But I guess these are the ones that are engaging with it most
Yeah,
directly.
like,
Yeah. And then, so Josh Brolin starts doing some investigating himself, kind of going like, wait, where did my kid run off? He ran this way. Where did this other kid run off? Ran this way when he comes across Justin Long really quick in a really quick cameo.
What a fun cameo.
I guess this guy just likes using Justin Long, like, randomly.
I mean, he's like, Justin Long has an interesting relationship with horror that people forget about.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are like,
oh, God, Tusk. That's him as well.
don't make me think of that shit, bro.
Yeah.
But it's like Tusk, Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, man.
Like people just remember it's like, oh, it's the funny guy from Waiting and the weird guy
Right.
from some of the other Kevin.
Right.
No, dude, he's like, but like Barbarian, like Jeepers Creepers, Tusk.
Yeah.
Like he has a horror background that we just don't talk about as well.
Yeah. And so, but that's what I was thinking. I was like, did no one think to triangulate where these kids were going before? Because that feels like a basic thing somebody should have done at this
Yeah,
point.
'cause
It's like,
it's like-
where are they going to? What is the direction that they seem like they're running? Like,
Yeah, it's something that like a Boy Scout would think to do.
exactly.
With like a map and compass. It's like, okay, the ring camera shows them running however many degrees this way.
Yeah.
And you just draw a line.
exactly where that could be going.
Now, granted.
Now they
yeah,
could turn at some point, sure.
Yeah, they could in theory turn, but it's like, well, if they ran straight, where would that take them within
Yeah.
like the county?
And he goes like, kind of circles this area where it seems like they can interject. Now they're not exactly in that intersected point. They're
Yeah.
slightly to the bottom because she points out the house and it's like right at the bottom of the circle. So it's like, all
Yeah.
right, I could see how you might miss that.
But the fact that like he was
Like, at least triangulate the area. God damn it!
yeah, it's like you see all these kids running in one direction. Now, granted, like you said, they could have turned at any point or zigzagged
Yeah.
around. But as far as they all ran in a fucking straight line out the
yeah,
door.
exactly.
Like some of them might have curved, but they still stayed straight for as
In
long
a
as
general, there had to be a general direction they were going. Like, because they didn't
Yeah.
go the opposite. They didn't go west or north. They clearly went eastward.
If you see like 10 houses in a circle and everyone's running slightly to the right, and it
Right.
looks like it's bending inward. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, well,
gotta
yeah,
be
you can follow that arc.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, and this is the point where I had written a note because I think this is after the when I started seeing the moments of like seeing I think when you see the couple the gay couple, BD Wong and his
Yes.
husband, which is like, I thought that was really cool. It's like, hey, just having a
like,
cool
that's nice.
interracial couple, like just like
Yeah.
Blackula, yeah, that immediately gets killed, just like Blackula. It's like,
Yeah.
God damn it, why we gotta keep burying our gays? What's going on?
I think this gay couple actually lasted the same amount of time
Yeah.
as it did Blackula.
But what I thought was kind of cute though, one of them has Mickey Mouse and one of them has Minnie Mouse
I
on
did
their
see
shirts.
that.
I was
I
like,
noticed that.
oh, is that like their gender role there for the,
Yeah.
you know,
It's
one's
like-
the more feminine, you know, one's the more, because BD Wong definitely comes off like, you wouldn't have thought he was gay at the beginning, and then you see, oh, wait a minute, that's, okay,
Which
you
is
know
like,
what I mean?
I like that as a normalization way for just like representation.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I wouldn't have thought I'm gay. Well, why would you have to think
Yeah, that
anything?
wouldn't matter.
Well, why would you? Why would you like, oh no, well, I mean, that's,
No, but yeah. So he goes up to the dream house. Oh yeah, and I joked at one point where I was like, oh man, I feel like they should have called this movie Parasite instead of Weapons, but like maybe they just couldn't get the rights. And so me and my friend had just watched the movie The Raid Redemption. You know, the Raid movie.
Shit.
It fucking incredible, by the way. We watched Raid and Raid 2.
I need to go through those.
And apparently they originally wanted to just call the first movie The Raid, but there was already a movie in America called The Raid, so they had to add The Raid Redemption to it. And I was like,
Okay.
geez, they should have called this movie Parasite Redemption. It's like, hey, you got to change the title in some way, because it's more about her. This is my problem with the movie title. It's called Weapons, but no one's really used. Like, the witch doesn't use anyone as a weapon except for
Yeah.
BD Wong at one point. But he never, like, the kids aren't used as weapons.
So
they're more
the-
used as parasites. Like, they're more, I mean, she's more of a parasite,
I-
sucking up their energy. But again, we don't even really see that. So it's kind of like, the main mechanic of her witchery that's used is cutting herself with the vine,
Yeah.
putting an item on them, and stabbing it, so controlling people and making them do stuff. You never really see what the mechanics are for her absorbing their life. So it's kind of so in the background that you kind of don't think of like, well, what is she doing with these kids? Because they're just standing there, as far as most of you see, you know?
To my understanding, the reason it's called Weapons, and it's slightly tied to a line that I think Josh Brolin's character has.
Yeah.
Where he
one more.
says, where he refers to them all as like, oh, they're all guided missiles.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a missile is a
True,
weapon.
true.
So all of these missiles,
And the way that their
aimed
hands are out when they're running.
like the wings of a missile,
Yeah,
all aimed at one object,
Mm.
is like
Yeah, a weapon, but then
the
there's never.
issue is
There's no
like,
earth-shattering kaboom.
Right. That's a good.
But yeah.
That one was delayed like a
Yeah.
weapon.
You
But
gotta-
like,
you
the
gotta-
thing is, when you get that, you're like, oh, that's what it is. Well, that's
Yeah, it's like, all right, well, all right. It's like,
like, I
not,
get
not exactly what I thought was going to happen, but okay.
It's a little big brain, but I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
because it's
But,
just kind of like,
you know, maybe
yeah,
they-
they all get there, and then they're just in the basement.
Yeah, right, they don't do anything. They just kind of
Now-
stand there. They
Now,
look
okay,
ominous.
Wait a second. It does come back at one point where the missiles do have an earth
See,
shattering
at
kaboom.
the end.
Right at the end.
Yeah, but she's not using them
Yeah,
as weapons.
right.
They're using weapons against her.
Right.
But I guess that, that's what you get for, manipulating children. You Pied Piper ass witch. You know what I mean?
Well, one of the greatest endings in a movie I've seen
Yeah,
in the
honestly.
last 10 years.
But I will say, though, like, despite me kind of questioning, like, well, why would you? Because, again, it's smart to send kids in the cover of night out to leave. But
Yeah.
to send BD Wong in broad daylight, like, well, that... Someone could take a phone picture of that and see that shit happening. You know what I mean? That would cause, bring things into question.
But also, it's like, I think it was like I was saying earlier, it stands out now if her boss, like, who's already killed his husband by this point,
Right, that's true. Yeah,
then
yeah.
goes after the teacher that is highly maligned, and then, so everyone's focusing on it and go, that fat gay Asian man.
Yeah, I know.
He
Yeah,
must have killed our kid.
Ain't no other explanation.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we were wrong. It's just the audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Shifts attention.
Oh man, but yeah. So he shows up, to kill her, essentially for getting too close. But then
You're too close, man.
Yeah, you're too close, man. You're too close. But BD Wong's eyes and his face
I don't know
are
how they
so
did that.
good in that moment. Like at first, I think they do something with his
They
eyes
did
that
something
exaggerated
with
after a
its
while.
visuals
But he
to do.
already looks freaky enough with the
Yeah.
way he's just like the way he's just running. He look like early in the movie. I remember just seeing BD Wong has just such a big expressive face.
Oh, yeah.
So then when you
Very
see him
talented
covered in blood just doing that, it's like, oh my god, like this is the freaky version of
I'm
how he
still
looks.
trying to. I need like a BTS for that scene because
right. What did they do? Yeah.
How they shoot eyes in this movie, but that
Yeah, because the same thing happens with the junkie when he turns and he's like, he runs at
But it
him.
happens with the mom too.
Yeah, that's right.
The mom and BD Wong's I think stick out the most. I don't know what they did in visuals.
But it was something really small. I
It
like
looks
that when
like
you
they don't have eyelids almost.
Yeah, but I like when they do really small things that are just enough to freak you out.
Yeah.
Like I don't like when movies do a big, CGI thing,
No.
especially in a horror movie because CGI looks very rubbery. It's hard to get afraid of that. But when it's just accenting something
Yeah.
really quick, I think that works perfectly because it makes your brain just go, "What the fuck?" Like,
It hits the right level of uncanny valley.
Absolutely.
When you see him, it's like his physical acting when he's just like torpedoing himself towards Julia Garner's character. But also it's like just those little subtleties. Because beyond that, like okay, I'm gonna make a comparison, but I don't want to disrespect the humanity. For a lot of like unhoused people,
Sure.
I think unfortunately
Right.
people look at them as less than human because they fall outside maybe a bounds of comfort.
They look unwashed. They look, they're just outside.
Yeah, it's like they're just outside and unwashed. So you see a guy running down the street. Even just how people run with their arms up, side to side, alternating. You see someone with their arms
to
back,
the side.
Look, kids got clowned for Naruto running all the time.
Right.
You see a grown ass man with his arms to his side,
eyes wide open,
running. You're like, what the?
I'm
fuck
gonna
is
get the
up with
fuck out of the way.
Yeah,
of
I'm
this.
moving out. I don't know what's about to happen, and I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't take much to make something uncanny.
Yeah. And oh my god, I will say the police brutality that we see in this next scene when the I also want to say the poor junkie, man, because it starts off, we see him really quick.
Wait, did we talk about the cop?
Well, we're getting to it right now because
okay.
like he opens, like when she's going to get alcohol, he opened the door for her real quick and kind of going like, hey, I need to go see my friend in this other state. Can you give me some money? And she's like, oh no, thank you, I can't do anything. And you just see him for a second and you don't think twice about him. But then later on it cuts back to him as he's like clearly trying to like break into some sort of building, and the cop rolls up, kind of goes like, whip whip, like, whoa, what are you doing? And he like falls on his butt onto the garbage can and then falls down and just starts taking off. And the cop's like, what the fuck? And he like, turns on his lights, starts running around to sort of like get he drives his car around the block to sort of get ahead of him.
Just the baby version of Jay from Clerks.
Yeah, exactly. That's totally what I thought. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is Jason Mewes. Like,
exactly.
20 years ago.
Yeah, an alternate universe where he didn't meet Kevin Smith.
Where he stayed on those drugs.
Exactly. So the police eventually stops him, but he's like, he's like, hey, I had to rough you up a little bit, buddy, because I had to, stop you. What's going on? Like, I hope you do. It seems like he's trying to do sort of like
almost compassionate.
Yeah, he's trying to be like, are you okay, buddy? Like, I'm gonna get you up, but we gotta ask you some questions first. And then he's like, there's nothing in your pockets, nothing sharp in your pockets. If you reach there. And he's like, no, it's fine. Then he reaches in there and immediately gets stabbed by a needle. And it's like, okay, first of all, who the fuck keeps a needle part up in their pocket?
Somebody whose mental cognition is just not there.
Fried. But so he gets stuck with a needle, and then he has that moment where like the cop gets stuck with him, and he's like, and then he pops the dude in the side of the head, and again I'm like, police brutality. And it's a weird, interesting thing where I kind of have sympathy in a way, because it's like, look, if you got stuck with a needle by someone,
I'd be kind of pissed.
Yeah, like I don't know if I just got AIDS, like you son of a bitch, and he hits him. But
there's
again,
a million because when that happened, I'm like, welp.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck is happening now?
Any the fuck thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was like, you're still a police officer who should have better training than that. Like, you should be trained in self-control.
That's exactly how I felt, too. Like, on the one hand, fuck you, but on the other hand,
like, you're a professional here.
He's handcuffed. You're in a position of power.
Exactly. He's not doing anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then he lets him go because he sees that his dash cam was on. Yeah. Turn off those body cams, boys. You know what I mean?
Oh, we're about to beat his ass.
I know. But he releases him, essentially going like, hey, just, don't tell anyone. Don't come down to the police station and file a complaint, and we'll be fine. I just don't want to see you ever again, buddy. Yeah. And what pisses you off is that it cuts not even 2 minutes later, because it's like he, kind of talks to his boss. He meets his girl earlier in the day, and then he cuts back to him.
Had they brought up the point at that point that like his boss is his girlfriend, or I think his wife, his girlfriend's father.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That
Yeah.
missed me. Okay, played by Toby Huss,
Yeah.
who's really good in the. All these actors play really good in the pocket. Just these little moments that they really
everything that I've seen
play
Alden
well.
Ehrenreich in that was not Solo, he's great.
Yeah, but yeah, so but then you see the junkie come to the police station just as the cop is leaving. He's like, hey, didn't I tell you not to come down here? You weren't supposed to come down here. I'm like, wow, not only the police brutality,
Yeah,
but don't you dare tell anyone what I did.
Right.
It's like, you fucking son of a bitch. You know what I mean? So it's just so perfect, that sort of policeman avoiding accountability sort of fucking thing. And again, it's so sad because at first we're only seeing the junkie come up and you're like, oh, he is about to snitch, and tell about what happened. So he starts to run away, and then you realize, oh, then we immediately get his backstory where the reason why he's coming up is because, well, he saw the kids, he saw them, and he wants the cash reward,
Yeah.
And so I love this. So I actually wrote down, I like how this character is used, the burnout stoner who's like, he's calling a friend, kind of saying, oh yeah, I'll be able to do this. If I can just do this, I'll be good. And
Yeah, just need some shoes.
yeah, and as he's calling them, he's like passively pulling on car doors to see which
see
ones
what's
are unlocked. And I'm like, oh shit, like that's so real. This type of person who's like, oh, let me just see if I can hit a lick real quick. Let's just see. He eventually, and the music that they play sounds like, change being dropped or something like that. You hear like, it's really like mini stressful in a way. Then, he sees one car is open. He steals some stuff from there, and
Was it like a broken
old
iPad? Or
exactly.
some shit?
But he can't get any money for it, so he's like, and so he sees, he tries to find another place. It starts raining. I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
And he sees the place that looks like it's boarded up because there's newspaper on the glass. So he's like, oh, okay. I can try to get into this place, head around the back. Oh, what?
Side note, did we talk about the teacher getting jumped by the random woman at the
Oh my
ABC
god, yeah,
store?
that did happen. Well, the girlfriend.
The girlfriend.
The cop's girlfriend.
And then we find out that when he goes back home later that day, because I think we saw her, like, get yelled at and assaulted. And I'm like,
where'd that come from?
I'm like, who the fuck is this? Is this one of the
Yeah,
parents?
yeah. She
And then
throws
later
like
on-
alcohol all in her eyes and tries to.
And then he
her.
goes home later on after that night because it was like the morning.
That's right.
It's like hey babe,
And you see that woman.
It's like, yeah, and I know I'm this many months pregnant. I'm like
whoa,
oh, you're the worst dude.
Wow.
Sorry, that just came to mind.
No, I feel you on that. Definitely cannot forget about that
But
moment.
yeah, so we were talking about
the junkie's pulling on car doors trying to get out.
and then he winds up it's raining. He finds the kids boarded up.
Yeah, and he goes behind to sort of like get on the second floor and open up the window to get in. He starts like pulls a pillow out of its comforter out of the pillowcase and starts using it to sort of case the joint, like take some shit, silverware and things of that nature. He gets downstairs, starts looking at movies, the movies they have. He goes like, oh shit, Willow, he's just seeing all this shit, and then
that definitely moment like,
all right.
fucking
All right, Willow.
Yeah, barely 20-ish-year-old is watching Willow.
And then he sees in the reflection of the TV the two people, and he turns around and goes, oh, fuck! And then, but they don't react, so he's like, and he like walks up to him, waves his hand in their face, snaps, and he goes like, all right. And then he just goes back to looting. I just love that, like, hey, if they're not gonna react, then fuck it.
They're not gonna stop.
So, he then, like, ends up going downstairs to try to like find some shit or something like that.
Yeah.
Then he comes across, sees all the kids, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this. I'm sorry." And he runs out just to sort of like, because he's like, he just sees kids standing there, so he's like, "I don't know what the fuck is happening. I'm sorry." And he like runs up, and then I think the parents they stand up and start walking after him, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" And he just runs out for dear life. He ends up going into the woods. That's where he sees. The witch waving at him, and I assume that wasn't real because like why would she be out in the middle of the woods like that? It doesn't seem like it makes sense.
Him.
I mean, maybe, but how did she get ahead of him? Like on some Jason shit where she's faster than him? You know what I mean?
It's
that
like
was a problem.
It's like a weeping angel. They're faster.
Oh
when you don't
god! But so but then he sees the kids and he has the moment of like, oh shit. those are the missing kids.
Right.
Like, I think, yeah, he ends up selling the stuff that he
I
jacked.
think he was trying to, like the forks.
Yeah, and he gets like $100 for it because
Yeah.
it's like for all the silverware. Then he looks up and he sees that there's a $50,000 reward for
Mhm.
all the 17 kids, and he goes like, "Oh shit!" He snags his money and he runs off. But then later on that's right. He calls the police station to be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I know a tip about what's going on. You know, could you give me the money outside of the police
Yeah,
station
it's
because
like,
I'm
where
kind
do
of got to
I
think
get
about
the
cops."
money at?
Yeah, and he's like, "No, you got to come down." And he's like, "All right." So he walks down to the station, sees the cop. The cop starts going after him. He runs into the woods to try to get away. He sees the witch, and he
I think he was in his tent.
yeah, he runs to go into his tent, zips it up to sort of, and then holds like a couple of needles in his hand to see like if anyone comes near, I'm gonna fuck him up. And then he starts hearing steps coming closer. He's like, "Oh fuck!" And you see the thing slowly start to zip up, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" And he just runs for it, like runs straight towards him, stabs whoever it is in the cheek. Turns out it's the cop.
It's the cop.
So he just stabbed him with 3 extra needles. It's like, God damn, this cop is just getting it.
He kind of deserves it.
Yeah, exactly. So he falls back, it messes up the tent, and like the cop's like, "What the fuck?" Pulls out a gun, he like cocks it on him. He's like, "What the fuck, man?" He's like, "What?" He's like, "Don't shoot. I see the kids. I know where the kids are." He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about, kids?" It's like the kids that went missing. It's like, I swear to God, like, dude, I'll show you where they are. It's really close. I swear to God, I'll show you where they are. So he's like, "You better not be fucking lying to me." He cuffs him, of course, puts him in the back of the police car.
Yeah.
Drives him to the house, and right before he gets out, he says to the cop, he's like, "Hey, officer, if those kids are in there and this reward, is able to be collected, you're not gonna just like collect it yourself, are you? Right?" Like,
Yeah.
and the officer just looks at him, and then just starts to slowly gets out of the car, and he goes like, "Officer, sir," and he closes the door. So he walks over to the house and knocks on the door, and the junkie's like looking at him, he's like, "Oh man, he's gonna see what I saw." Then the door opens, you just see blackness, and then the police officer looks like he's being invited in. So he's like, he walks in, and the junkie's like, "What the fuck?" And then it cuts to it's nighttime, so like hours have gone by, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Like, what the fuck is going on? Then, dude, I think this is one of the freakiest parts here, where the door opens, the cop just starts like going straight towards him, opens the cop car door, and starts pulling this guy out towards the house. And I was like, dude, that's terrifying. This man he's cuffed, can't do anything. A cop is pulling him.
No one to call. No one's hearing.
Exactly, and he's screaming for dear life. He's like, "Somebody help! Somebody please help!" And it's like, dude, his hands have got to be getting scraped up to shit, like behind him as he's getting pulled. So I was like, oh my God, this is so fucking terrifying. And then it just cuts, and he goes to black, and you're like,
That's where
what
that
the
segment
fuck?
goes.
Yeah. So then, this is the thing. It's 2/3 of the movie in where you finally actually see the villain of the film.
Yes.
Because I guess she's seen in moments,
She
but
is technically there.
yeah, but just
She
in
is
people's
like
psyche, really.
She's been more of a presence versus a formal physical threat up to this point.
She hasn't said anything yet, essentially.
Yeah.
So we don't really know anything about her. We just know that people keep seeing her.
Yeah, because now we get it's the last major. His name is Alex, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we get the segment with Alex and his backstory and his background and everything that led up to it, which recontextualizes everything that we've seen up to this point,
Right.
which is a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. So in the we have the moment where Alex's parents are called in because Mrs. Gandy has been pushing V.D. Wong to sort of do something, just to try something else out. At least have the parents come in and talk. Only the aunt comes in because she's like, "Oh, well, I'm coming in to just sort of like I'm the mom's older sister or something like that."
I think she's technically his great aunt, so it was like
it was that
mother's
sort of thing.
sister.
But yeah. And so she comes in, she's sort of trying to smooth things over and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming in. Oh, the parents have a touch of consumption, so I'm just kind of coming in."
Which I'm just like, consumption?
I know, I love how B.D. Wong
What
is like,
fucking
"I'm
year
sorry."
is this?
He's like, "I'm sorry, I just don't know what that is. Can you tell me what that means?" And just like, "Oh, tuberculosis." Me too. I was like, "Does that mean alcoholism?" I don't know what that means. I never hear that word.
I love using dialogue to unintentionally but intentionally like age a person.
Yeah.
Where it's like if you're talking to somebody, it's like, oh yeah, man, let's go listen to this new record I got. Let's go watch this movie I got on Laserdisc. It's like,
Like what?
yeah. What you got on what? Yeah, man, let's go watch Jaws on Laserdisc.
You right?
What the fuck?
Where'd you get a laser disc?
Are you a time traveler?
You right? So yeah, and then in that moment you hear in the background them playing the TV. When she, okay, so she goes to the school to try to smooth things over without getting the parents involved.
Right.
BD Wong says, "I'm sorry, we're gonna have to talk to the parents. This is kind of something we need to do. Otherwise, like if we can't get in contact, we might have to get CPS involved." And she's like, "Oh, okay, like let's set up another time, but they're sick right now. Maybe you can come over and something like that." And so they're like, "Okay, we'll try to set it up another time." I think it's the weekend or something like that.
Yeah.
So she goes to visit them where they're watching TV, and it's on TV is like an ant that has like a parasite in it that's taking over its brain or something like that. And so you're seeing that happening in the background. And then it's the scene
And I think
where
that also came up in Miss Gandy's segment,
they're
which
talking
is
about parasites and tapeworms. Yeah. And there's also, and it starts the scene with 7 hot dogs on a tray with a whole bunch of cookies. And when I first saw that, I was like, oh, this must be for their kids, right? Like, who the fuck has 7 hot dogs? But then
a couple with some gold. Look, you don't just have 7 hot dogs and no plan.
Right? You're trying to get some protein.
Yeah, nobody is just like, you know what? Today is hot dog night. No, you have a plan.
Yeah.
That's how your day start. It hit 12 and your day is like, honey, it's hot dog night. You know what's going down. Warm up those Nestle Toll House.
You know how they say it's like, yeah, there's 8 hot dogs in a pack, but for some reason they have like 12 buns in a pack.
Buns.
Yeah, like what the fuck is up with that? So like you're using up all the hot dogs in that pack in this bitch.
There's no realm where this was not the intent for the day.
Right.
We got our matching Disney sweaters on.
Right.
We got a tray of Toll House. And we got 7.
We're making a day out of it.
This is our date day.
Yeah,
We're about to turn up some documentaries.
Right.
And this is what we do as a couple, which is a beautiful thing.
Right.
That's way too specific.
I know, but it was supposed to be a reference to that Whitest Kids You Know skit of the I have 7 hot dogs a day. But yeah, so she comes over to kind of be like, oh, hey, and making up this whole story about like, oh, I had to rush over. I wanted to come over and try to help out, but the bus was late, and so I went, I had to travel like 10 blocks in order to get here, and I'm, all out of breath. Can I please just come in and get a glass of water or something like that? No, a bowl of water? Like, who the fuck drinks a bowl of water?
Again, those little things in the dialogue are just like, girl, what the fuck?
But she's like,
she already looks crazy with them fucked up ass bangs.
The too bright red hair and the bangs with the fucking really big frills on the side of it. Like she has such a particular look, and like the makeup to try to really trying to cover over
rather
all this.
smeared over her lips. I'm just like, that's a lot to take in.
There's a certain level of like, again, getting to the like. It's about how old people are scary, right? It's like,
sure.
Yes, it has a very particular look, but I have seen old people who have that look of especially older women, right? Like, I'm doing what I can to try to look as young as possible. So there was a certain level of like, oh, it just feels like we're making fun of old people who just who just want to ignore their age, But
I also kind of understand the principal's hesitancy to kind of let it, because why are you at my house?
Right.
How did you know I lived here?
Yeah.
Like,
so
it's like you didn't knock on nobody's doors. It's like,
Right.
It's just like, oh, honey, let her in.
I
Go
don't
to
know
the back,
about
white
that.
Husband.
I've seen Sinners, like, yeah.
Right, it's like, I've seen this movie. It's like,
It's like, stay here. We'll bring you the bowl of water, bitch.
Yeah, it's like, you stay here. It's like, can I come in? No.
Yeah.
I can bring it to you.
So what she did, though, is before she left at the scene where she meets the principal at the school, she took one of his ribbons and kind of used it to wrap around the vine. And in front of him, she like, has the bowl of water, and she goes, "Oh, if you don't mind, can I?" And she pulls out the scissors, snips off his hair, and she was like, and he goes like, "What the hell? Like this bitch just snipped my hair. What the fuck was that about?"
Yeah, you don't know what the hell she's about to do.
Yeah, and BD Wong is like, "Okay, I think we need to call the police."
Yep.
He picks up the phone, starts calling. She initially pricks her finger with the vine, and he's like, "Oh, are you okay? Do you need like some iodine or something?" It's like, "Oh, don't worry." Yeah, and he comes close, looking like he's trying to help her, and then that's when she snips the hair and like kind of like wraps it around, and it's like, "Okay, I don't know what the fuck's going on with this crazy bitch." And then she snaps the vine, which causes BD Wong to like just do this really like looking like he's being slightly lifted up by his shoulders or something like that. It's like, "Oh," and the husband's like, "Oh, what the fuck is going on? I don't know what's happening." And then she, puts her blood on the other thing, snaps that with the hair, and then it causes him to go after his poor husband and headbutt him to death.
Headbutted and caved his skull.
Yeah, and vomited on him, vomited the black bile all over him. It was like, ugh.
One of the most gruesome kills of the year.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
As far as like, we're talking like kill counts and everything, that because it was visceral, and then we see the after effect.
Yeah.
Of like, it's not a visual that I think you often get.
No, yeah. And then, I was just thinking after that scene, though, it was like, oh, we could make any after Old and X and Nosferatu, I was like, oh, we can't make any demographic of people look scary anymore. Except for old people. Don't give a shit about old people.
All your politicians are probably in their 60s.
Hey, look, all politicians are pretty scary. Dude, that would be next. A movie about a scary old politician.
What is he? He's Sleepy Joe.
No. Sleepy Joe.
He comes for you in the night.
Yeah, Sleepy
if
Joe.
If you didn't vote for him, you're not black.
Sleepy Joe and the Orange Clown.
that actually would be a terrifying thing to see at the foot of my bed.
A sleeping old man and a orangish face. Oh my God.
I'll take his melanin. I'll take his bitch. I'm going next door.
I'm gonna assault his girlfriend. That's kind of my thing. All right, so what happens next? So
we get, like,
it cuts back to BD Wong attacking her, and it shows
that
more of that play out.
Sequence was stressful.
It's so intense where the gas gets knocked everywhere, and you're like, holy shit! You're hoping someone doesn't have a lighter that they're gonna fucking set up.
What got me was him like running straight through the plate glass.
Yeah.
Anytime I see someone run through
just
glass,
not give a fuck. Yeah.
I just get unsettled. I'm like,
it's like, there's got to be so many cuts. You have walked through a house that had some sort of glass on the floor, and a little bit of a shard got into your foot, and you didn't feel the end of that shit for at least a week.
Right.
Imagine like running
face first. Blam.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a football player.
Yeah. So it kind of cuts back and tells you the story of Alex Lilly, essentially, living his life. And what's sad is that the parents are actually pretty cool.
They're good parents.
Yeah.
I was nervous. I'm like, he's getting bullied, or his parents are fucked up.
Yeah, but
no,
his parents are fun. They're like, kissing these supermodels today, son. It's like, it's real fun and jovial.
I'm like, that's nice to see a father that's like present in his son's life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, buddy, did you have a good day? Well, you can try again tomorrow. And
right?
That was the last week.
Oh, that was so sad. Because my aunt on my mother's side is coming in, and she wants to she's everyone else has rejected her or something like that, and she's only gonna be here for a month. She's probably doesn't have too long to live. And the dad's like, well, we don't really know how to do this, but okay,
Yeah, because the dad was just like, I don't know.
He was even
hesitant.
Yeah, but the mom's like, well, my mom would have wanted to do this, so let me be the good Samaritan and take it.
And the crazy part of my brain is I was like, well, what happened to her?
Yeah, right.
What happened to mom?
I've been thinking I was thinking about okay, do you because apparently they didn't know this sister too much. It was probably maybe another marriage or something like that. She's kind of estranged. Yeah. And so I'm thinking okay, maybe they didn't know that well. Maybe she got into witchcraft later on in life, especially when she started dying. Maybe trying to look up some shit. But yeah, essentially, you really ended up feeling bad for this kid because what happens is essentially one day he comes home and they are, zombified.
I think it wasn't just that he came home. They didn't show up. when he was supposed
That's
to be picked up from school.
right. Yeah. So first, the night before he like looks into the room, just kind of like just to see what it looks
Yeah,
like.
I think he saw her come in.
Yeah.
First, and then he was.
Yeah, and then the next day, that's right. The parents don't pick him up, so he has to end up walking home. And he's
Which got in 2025.
I know.
Damn.
What the fuck?
It's not like overseas where they have walkable cities.
Yeah, right. And again, it calls back to like, damn. And Mrs. Gandy probably would have given him a ride. You know what I mean? But yeah, you end up feeling so bad for this kid where he's just trapped. Essentially, the witch Gladys, that's her name.
Gladys. Yeah.
She's like saying like, oh, your parents are fine. Don't worry about it, and just don't tell anyone anything about what's going on. They're just resting right now. And then it's like the first day she kind of like makes that excuse. The next day she kind of goes like, okay, I just want to make clear what's happening here. And she like, tells the parents to start stabbing themselves with the forks.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah,
Just
man. And she's like, now I can make your parents like, like kill each other. I can make them eat each other if I want. It was like, holy shit, what? And she's like, you're not going to tell anyone a goddamn thing. So you're having this like couple of days where he has to feed his parents soup and just like not comment on what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, just holding this is a ghoulish nightmare made reality just with the implication of what's going on for this kid, where it's just like, well, your parents are fucked. You have to take care of them now.
Right.
And it gets worse when he has to take care of the other kids too.
Yeah. So, kids who bullied him at school. So he's like at school getting bullied, comes home. His parents aren't there for him, except for this old lady who keeps wanting to say, they're like, oh, I'll leave as soon as I'm feeling good enough again. But there's a scene where she still looks like she's a little sick. And, he kind of comes in. And it's so, like, that's the thing. Because he has the understanding that, well, this is family, so I need to respect family. My mom just told me this is family, right? So he's like, oh, well, I want to help you get better. And it's like, but if I help you get better, will you leave? Like, will you leave my parents alone?
Please get the fuck out.
And he's like, and she's like, oh, I need you to help. I need you to help me. Can you bring the kids to, like, can you get an item from all of the kids?
From each of the kids?
Yeah.
And they do that in a very smart way.
Well, like,
I think.
At first, because the way they shoot it is sort of going like, oh, the kid's kind of looking at different items that he could snag. But then he looks off to their cubbies and kind of goes, oh, I could steal.
Yeah, just take their name tag.
But I was thinking like that. I thought he was going to steal something from the cubbies. Because if you steal the name tags, well, what happens if everyone comes back after recess and says, which one's my cubby? I feel like that would have given it away.
It's just kind of like him with all the name tags. I don't know. Where perchance could they have gone?
Yeah,
I guess everyone all 17 of us will have to make another one.
Now, see, it'd be dumb as shit if you forgot to take his name off.
Right.
It's like, well, gee, I wonder who fucking did it.
Alex, did you? No.
No. Rips it off right then. It's like, no.
Who would do that? That'd be weird.
But yeah, he connects the names. He collects the names, gives them to her. She strips the pieces out. Strips pieces of it, puts it in this sort of bowl with a bunch of other greenery or something like that. I think it's from that plant that she had.
Yeah, she had like a bonsai looking tree.
Yeah. But it was like really spiny looking. Yeah. And then she does a sort of motion, spits in it, and then throws some sort of thing in it that causes flames and sparks to come up. And again, this is what I'm saying. It's like the movie focuses so much on how she collects them that it feels like that's the main focus of what's happening.
Right.
So when you kind of learn that, oh, she's using them to suck their life force, but we never see how she does that. There's never a point where we see the mechanics of that. So it feels kind of on the back burner. And even then, she's not even sure if it works. She says, well, bring the kids to me, and hopefully that will help. And I was like, well, bitch, you don't even know if it's going to work.
Yeah, that was the other part. That's why I said it ultimately kind of feels like a bit of an exercise in futility.
Yeah.
Because, and that was the part that kind of keyed into it, where it's just like, well, it might work. I'm just like, well, that would fucking suck.
It's like, wait, you don't know if it's going to work?
You kidnap 20 some odd people, and it's like, yeah, well, it was worth a try.
Yeah. And like I said, from the mother's perspective, the mother of Alex, this got to be pretty fucked up right here. This person that I brought into my house trying to be nice, what the fuck, man?
Right.
I thought she was going to end up essentially using them for other tasks or something like that. Like
Yeah.
maybe she's trying to like get medicine from here, so she uses the kids. Like, oh, kids are going to be the best way to like get around stuff. Like I thought there was going to be more of that, of the kids being used as something.
Yeah.
But it feels kind of like a squandering of the imagination of what could be used because they're just standing there for the most part, right? They don't do anything. And again, you never see her like sucking the life force out of them,
we never
like
see-
Ursula. You know what I mean? Like,
we never get an explicit understanding of what she's doing to these.
yeah, yeah. Like we see her at a point she's down there with them, but we never see.
Yeah.
But it's just to attack Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
And yeah. I was like, yeah, it feels a little underwhelming in terms of the imagination of why are these kids running away? You know, especially when you're watching it like for the first time, you're like, what? Like, are they being called by something? Like, I feels random as fuck, but to call them like the Sailor Moon movie. You know, you remember the Sailor Moon R movie where it's like, all these kids are like running away in the middle of the night because they're going to a fantasy land where they'll get cookies and cake and stuff like that. Like there's that sort of feel that I thought was going to happen, but there's maybe like a dark sort of
like a mix of
Pinocchio.
Pied Piper and Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah, like a dark Pinocchio sort of thing going. Yeah, for sure.
That would have added some texture to it for sure.
But so you're gonna control this army of kids who no one's gonna want to do anything to them because they're fucking kids. You know, you don't want to hurt a kid. You know what I mean? But yeah, it doesn't really end up doing that, unfortunately. Now this is another part that so essentially Gladys is like, oh, we gotta leave tomorrow because stuff's getting too hot. People are starting to ask too many questions.
Yeah. Because she fucked up killing the teacher.
Exactly. Yeah. Essentially. So they Josh Brolin and
Miss Gandy.
Yeah, Miss Gandy are in the car kind of doing a stakeout to try to figure out what's happening.
Right.
But there's a cop in front of their door and they're like, whoa, there's a cop at that house? What's happening? Like, what
right.
do we go in? Do we not? Is something already being done about this essentially? And then the door opens, you see the cop that she knows like motioning to come in, and she's like, wait, I know him. And he's like, oh, should we go? It's like, oh, well, I know him, so let's, like, maybe everything, maybe we'll see what's happening, So they go in, and they start being essentially, yes, that's right, because there's a salt line that earlier in the movie, there's a salt line on where the witch is living too, on the second floor. Where the parents are standing in front of the door, and she says, "Don't walk past the salt," essentially, and closes the door.
Mm-hmm.
And then, right as the kid is like, "Oh, I don't know, maybe I do want to walk past the salt line," kids don't.
What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, exactly. She's trying to take me off with her. Like, why the fuck not? That was another thing I was thinking about too. Like, why doesn't she just kill him? Because you've got 17 kids missing except for one kid, and doesn't that look really fucking suspicious now? Why not just kill all of the kids? Now nobody knows what's happening, you know what I mean? But then, hey, you need someone to go out and get the soup and feed them. Yeah, so
because she's probably not strong enough to do it all by herself.
Yeah.
Why she's in the situation in the first place.
Right.
So kind of trapping and torturing a child.
Yeah, essentially.
Gets her to those points.
And like I said, you see him like going to school, being bullied by people, coming home, getting the soup for the parents. Yeah, exactly. And like having to carry these heavy soup cans in order to feed all of these kids, you know what I'm saying?
That was a hard watch.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing this
kid like reaching up on the top shelf.
Yeah.
Like not being able to open a can of soup.
I
alone.
know, yeah.
I was
spilling out. It's like, oh, this is like a poor kid who's forced to grow up and have to take care of. Like, oh,
but
no.
It's like, because he's a kid who's not allowed to be a kid.
Yeah.
He's just like doesn't. So he's like wasn't he like using a knife?
No, he was using a can opener, but he just wasn't able to get good maneuvering on it, so it was like wasn't opening all the way for some of it.
Jagged.
Yeah. I was hoping he didn't cut himself. I was like,
that was like one of the hardest watches. I'm just like, he's just struggling because it's like she's not helping him at all. It's just like, you do this.
Right.
Go do this.
So they go in to try to figure out what's going on. They step over the salt line, and then the cop and the stoner dude start attacking them.
Yeah.
And so the stoner dude is attacking Josh Brolin, and he's able to get it.
Now that one was funny.
Yeah, that was because it's like he's attacking him. Of course, it's Josh Brolin, so he's like bigger than this.
Thanos.
Yeah, exactly.
Just one punch.
He hits him with the fucking Thanos smack,
but
then he keeps getting back up. So it's scary at first, and then it just starts being funny with how he keeps being able to get up, and it's like, holy fucking shit! Like, god damn it, dude, just stay down.
Yeah, my brain was like, this is your brain on cocaine.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, there's another fight scene going on with the cop and hers, which is really a mind fuck. Probably someone you know and care about is like running after you in a
cop
outfit.
Awkward where it's like, this motherfucker was inside me too.
Yeah, I know.
And now he's trying to kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what I'm supposed to feel right
Yeah,
now.
how am I supposed to feel about this shit? So they're at getting around a table where, like, she's running to the left and running to the right, and then he just lunges over and attacks her, and, like, he starts choking her. She tries to, like, get, like, whatever she can. She gets, like, a potato peel or something like that, tries to, like, skin him to try to, like, cause some sort of, reaction, but it's not happening. She eventually, like, pulls out his gun and, like, pops him in the neck, and the bile starts spilling out, and she's like, oh, fuck, and then she puts it up to the side of his head and pops him there, and that takes him out.
Grisly death.
Yeah, it's so
like
insane.
that, yeah, one was intense and one was kind of comedic.
Yeah. But then Josh Brolin goes downstairs, so trying to see where his kid is, and he's like, oh my god, he sees all these kids, in the dark, but just like, his phone is like lighting the way slightly.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like he's trying to say his kid's name. I can't remember, was it Jason or something like that?
Was it Henry?
It
might have been Jason.
Yeah, I thought it was Jason, because he was like, Jason? Or am I thinking of Heavy Rain? You remember that video game? Jason! Jason! But yeah, and now I will say this was a little inconsistent of like, because we see in the movie, and in fact, when the parents are attacking the boy, we see that he's like...
It was Matthew.
Oh, Matthew, okay. Matthew! No, we see the kid running for his life going to one room, and then, like, of course, you gotta see the here's Johnny thing where the parents' faces ripped through the door.
But he did it well.
Right? It was pretty cool.
Very well.
Because you were still freaked right the fuck out with the eyes and everything like that.
Because the eyes, how they shot it from underneath, because it was like, because it was
from the kid perspective,
from the kid's perspective, because it was both parents, like, tearing at the door.
Yeah. Like beating it down. Then he runs to the other door because the witch isn't there, and he's like, "Oh shit, where did she go?" And I think he hides behind in the witch's room, closes the door, grabs her wig, and grabs the vine and makes a run for it, which would be so hard to run with a vine without nicking yourself. Yeah, but eventually he has to anyway. Yeah. And again, I couldn't look at this kid hurting himself with a vine,
stabbing himself intentionally.
But he does it in order to he gets a strand of the hair of the fake wig, wraps it around the vine, puts his blood on it because he's seeing her do it. Then he like
it was just a
and
then just everything stops.
Yeah, she goes,
oh no.
It's like, oh, I fucked up.
And the realization of just like, oh,
I don't have a contingency plan for this.
Well now,
but
I'll be leaving.
Yeah, exactly. But what I don't like is like Josh Brolin, like in the middle of that basement. Yeah. The old lady attacks him, pulls off his chain to sort of like do a ritual herself. But my brain was thinking as I'm watching it, because it cut away, so you don't see what happens next after she rips it off. But it was like, okay, big ass Josh Brolin, he's gonna fucking clock this woman. Like, she's not gonna have time to put her blood on the vine and wrap it around and snap the thing. Like, but unfortunately, we see Josh Brolin walk up the stairs and start attacking Justine's character. So you're like, oh fuck, she just got out of like getting attacked by the cop. Now she's being attacked by the
She's been around for a long time for a reason.
Can't trust any men in this scenario. Goddamn.
This might not be the first time she had to fight a big motherfucker.
So. I know. That's like 2 in a row. Like fucking hell.
Yeah.
But then. Yeah, the vine snaps and she hears it and she hears like the ding and it's like, oh fuck. And all the kids start running after her.
You hear the rumbling.
The rumbling of the kids coming up from the stairs, and she's like, "Oh no!" Runs out the house.
One of the greatest one shots of the year.
Like she runs out of the house, and then you just see all the kids blast out of the windows
like a goddamn shotgun.
Oh fuck!
Bursting out like, was it the back part of the house?
The front part, because she ran out of the front door,
and she's just booking it
She bolts
through everyone's backyard,
everyone's
front
houses.
yard.
Yeah, because she runs into this one house and then people are like, what the fuck is going on? And then pow, a bunch of kids and they're like, what the fuck is going? Like you just see an old lady run through your house and you're like, okay, well that was kind of crazy. And then just seeing 18 kids burst through the house and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
My favorite was the tracking shot of the little girl just
Yes,
quarterbacking, jumping through glass.
That was when,
Like
because
they
that was
got
when he
the-
finally gets her. Yeah.
I was like, I'm like, they're grown men. They cannot do. I'm like, whether that was a stunt actress or a child actress.
Yeah, I think it was stunt for some of it. I think they did some
Yeah.
editing. Yeah. Because you didn't see their faces at
you
certain
didn't see
points,
the
and I
face.
think
It was
maybe,
all, it was all
yeah.
starting behind. I'm like, this is a dream.
Yeah.
Where the
A nightmare.
Yeah, this is where it's like me and my theater, we all started hollering. It got loud in that bitch.
Yeah.
Because we were like, because it was so funny and insane, but also cathartic.
Yes,
With where it
exactly. Because
ends.
like this bitch who's been torturing this child,
Well,
this
this
whole fucking
community.
movie. Yeah, absolutely, right.
Yeah, like
and
this
so it's like
city.
it's interesting to see a horror movie where the ending is the villain just being fucking ran down.
Yeah, ran down.
They fucking walked this motherfucker down,
Right.
except they ran her down. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
like dead to rights, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, it was so.
Now, the only thing I would say is, like, how the fuck is this old-ass woman outrunning these kids? Like, you wouldn't be able to, like, kids can fucking run. An old-ass woman is not outrunning these people.
She's been around for a long time.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Maybe the absorbing that she's been doing maybe caused her to be young enough, but she wasn't that goddamn young.
It had to have been adrenaline.
Yeah,
Where
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
like-
hey, if I saw 17 kids running at me, look, my fat ass could probably do at least a
be
mile.
booking it. I would, yeah. It's like, I get a good
The
mile.
kids are
in.
crazy.
Yeah, because she made it about what 4 or 5 blocks.
Yeah, like a couple of houses.
A couple
she
of
ran through.
houses?
Yeah, it wasn't until like it was the one house which looked like the outhouse with the mosquito
Yeah.
blocker thing where the one kid finally catches up with her. She opens it and closes the door and the kid just busts through the door. And she's
Yep.
like and then she happens to get right outside on the grass. And like the kid tackles her, and then the other
Yep.
kids come on. Oh yeah, and of course there's the infamous scene, the scene that I saw before I ever saw the movie, where I didn't know what the context was.
Oh,
where you
yeah.
see someone mowing their lawn, like not even thinking twice, and they just look up and see like an old lady running, like, all right. And then they look up again and they see just 18 kids just running after her. It's like, well, what the fuck is that? And now it's a funny moment, but it still kind of gets to like it's cool to have this catharsis ending moment where they're literally ripping her apart, like ripping
Yeah.
her like jaw open, and like it was like, oh, you couldn't even look.
I loved how they did it because there's it's rare, I think, especially for horror, to do that and it not feel like it's at the expense of like a victim.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah,
if
I get
somebody,
you on
if
that.
somebody that seemed like Saw and hostile and everything.
Right.
Like, you kind of
feel
feel
bad watching the
But
kill.
for this one, everyone's like, this bitch needs to go.
You got this
Tear
coming.
her ass up.
Yeah, take this with you.
Yeah. It's like, you about to go to a place that's hot.
It's dark and hell is hot.
Yeah.
but,
Where it's like, but at the outset of it, and you know, as we're getting to the ending, it does fall bittersweet.
yeah.
But where it gets there is just like fun.
Yeah. Now, what I will say, like I said, it's like, okay, you could say all the other stuff is like, well, it's hot. All right, the kids were taken under the cover of night. BD Wong goes insane, something happens. But with this, like, you know, the start of the movie is basically saying they tried to cover this up and be like, we're so embarrassed about this, we didn't do anything. But, like, a bunch of kids have the blood of an old woman on their hands.
Literally.
Like,
on their hands.
Yeah, exactly.
With tiny fingers.
and she gets ripped apart in the middle of the day.
yeah.
People,
in
like,
front of the neighborhood.
Yeah, the lawn.
on the front lawn.
People saw this. Like, they ran through 4 houses. Someone mowing the lawn saw this. So it's like, okay,
Right.
somebody saw this shit. Like, somebody's gonna make a stick
Plenty
up.
of people
Like
saw
I said,
this shit.
if this was the early 2000s, you could maybe make the case that, oh, well, no one recorded it. But something like that, somebody's recording the destruction. Look what happened to my fucking house. This is insane. In fact, Josh Brolin walks through one of the houses, and it's kind of a funny moment where,
Yeah,
like,
it's
one of the women is holding her kids and going like, oh my God, like holding her baby and going like, oh, like talking to her husband like, oh my God, this was so crazy. And then Josh Brolin's just like walking through to try to follow the trail of destruction. And you hear the woman go like, oh my God, there's a man in my house. Yeah, like, I love that extra moment.
There's
of
a
like,
man in my house.
like, yeah, it's like, what the fuck does this guy have to do with it? But yeah, it gets to the end and like like all the kids are like, you know, they've done their duty, so they're just kind of standing there. And then, you know,
The missiles hit their target.
exactly. And then he comes in, you know, sees his kid, picks him up, and it's kind of like you see the kids just kind of laying limp there, expressionless,
Yeah.
as you hear the girl at the end kind of doing the ending monologue of being like, you know, and all the kids were found and brought back to their parents, but they didn't say anything for months on end, and well, they started speaking after maybe a year or so.
Starting to recover.
Yeah, and it's like, and then we just end on that.
Well, but we also got I think what they say about Alex is he moved in with another aunt, and his parents are in a rehab facility, but they haven't really made any progress.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and that's where I'm talking about. It's
It
like
feels so
bittersweet.
bad,
Which,
yeah.
like, well, and you think about it because these kids have been, I think, wrapped up in this situation it was about a week.
I think it was a month because they say two. I think they say 2 months at one point.
Yeah.
Because the first month has gone by, and that's where we start the movie. Where it's like it's been a month, but they had to restart school because life must go on. But then I remember they say at some point it's been 2 months. So the parents have been under this thing
for
before this happened.
Longer.
Yeah.
They've been under it longer, and also their brains are a lot more crystallized.
Yeah.
The kids, so it's like the kids can probably recover, but the parents, like the implication is.
That sucks because it's like now this kid who had great parents has to stay with another aunt, and let's hope that aunt's not bug nuts crazy.
Also, just like traumatized forever.
Exactly. Like you can't trust no authority figures for the rest of your life.
Like the therapist that works with that kid in particular is gonna get their money's worth because it's just like, yeah, so my great aunt was an evil witch that terrorized my community and got torn to shreds by all of those kids. And they walk around with the blood on their hands, and I walk around with no fucking parents.
And the therapist just looks up like, oh, I think I quit. I can't do this.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
That's the only thing you do. So how does that make you feel?
You want to hug? No. The last time I tried to hug a lady, they thought she was the one. They kidnapped the kid.
Exactly. Oh,
that was another.
He's got a psychosis.
That was a minor something that we didn't touch on. Was the teacher apparently had like a history of, I guess, inappropriate behavior, but it wasn't with a student.
But again, like trying to help, you know what I mean?
I thought she had a relationship with another teacher at a previous school.
Oh, I don't remember that.
I think they had alluded to that.
Oh, dang. I don't remember that. I just remember her, like, trying to be a good, teacher and noticing when she can help. But then them saying, like, well, especially now that you've got a target on your back, that all looks bad now, because, well, you're trying to help these kids. Maybe you did something that,
Yeah, but they had alluded to the fact that she had a previous incident in a previous school, and that didn't help on top of what you were doing.
Okay, damn, that fucking sucks. But yeah, well, that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's not a really happy ending. It's really bittersweet.
It's bittersweet.
Like I said, the villain does die, but it's like, damn, but all of these kids are fucked. You know what I mean?
Like the kids are slowly recovering. I can only imagine what like Julia Garner and Josh Brolin's characters feel.
Right.
And like how they go on, especially because like the drug.
Because wait a minute, they don't know what happened. I don't think they ever see the snapping and stuff.
They
just know that
context.
Yeah, they just know that. Like Josh Brolin just knows that. Well, for a couple of minutes, I just went crazy and started killing the person.
I guess if they talk to Alex,
yeah, maybe
that's all you'll have.
They'll probably get even less time to talk to him now if they didn't get to talk to him before. You know what I mean?
It's like if because Alex was still in the house. And so is Miss Gandy.
Yeah.
So I can assume they.
Hopefully they had a conversation before the cops came.
Because it's like, hey, buddy. What the fuck was all that?
Yeah, what the fuck was that about?
His parents are comatose, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Catatonic.
Yeah, and I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah,
we're getting. I think we're getting a prequel about.
That's what I'd heard. The auntie, Aunt Gladys. I hope it's some fucking Maxine shit or some fucking Pearl shit where we really like dig into her back. Because I actually am interested to know what. Like honestly, I'm fine with how the movie is. Like I'm fine with this being a universe. Yeah, but like it would be interesting to know. Like no, I would like to know what happens next. I would like to know, like, you know what I mean? Like, does someone else find this power? Does the kid kind of go, what else do I have other than like I know I can do this now?
Yeah,
all of these kids are still like. You know what I mean? Like, could he still control them? You know what I mean?
It seems pretty accessible as a magic system goes.
Yeah, right. Because like, he was able to do the magic, and so does he still have power over them? Because they stop. It's not like they were like, oh, I don't know what happened. No, they're just standing there afterwards. So are they still under his control? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like he's not given like a rule book.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you can have. Not everything needs to be a universe, but build on this,
Yeah.
theoretically.
The extended weapon universe.
Yeah, the EWU.
Yeah.
But no, I'll watch the spin-off project. I'm more curious about Kreger's doing the next Resident Evil.
Oh wow, that sounds like that's gonna be some
Godspeed. No one's been able to
exactly. No one's
They-
cracked that nut.
They've had 2 reboots.
But then again, it's
and-
been fucking Yuva Bowl or whatever the fuck doing him. So you know.
No, that was Paul Thomas and not Paul
Oh
Thomas.
yeah,
Paul W.S.
Yeah,
Anderson.
yeah. Too many fucking Andersons.
Look, we talked about that on
Yeah,
the last
exactly.
one. But it's just like, yeah, that we've had 2 like a reboot show and a reboot movie. No one can figure it out
Yeah.
for some reason.
Oh man, but yeah, as far as weapons is concerned,
Yeah, it's very good.
I liked it I think it was a solid movie.
Yeah.
I think there's just small bits in terms of like this isn't really like it doesn't destroy the enjoyment of the movie, but it's
No.
just like as you watch it again, you kind of go, oh yeah, well what about this?
Yeah, you
know?
just have question marks.
Yeah, it's
here
not,
and
but
there.
it's not amazing. Like I apparently have heard people are like either you love it or hate it with this movie, but honestly, it's
I
like
like it a
I
fair
think it's
amount.
just a solid movie that has a couple of things, but like what movie doesn't have
No.
you know some sort of inconsistency? Or, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
I feel similarly about like Together. Like I say
I haven't seen that yet. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
But it's like the horror originals I think that we're getting this year are great.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like as far as original story, I'm like, well,
Right.
it's like I think about Together, I think about this, I think about Sinners. I'm like, well, I ain't seen no shit like this before.
right, like
I've never seen
different
a bunch
types of narratives
Yeah.
unfolding in different ways.
I've
yeah.
seen somebody get torn to shreds in a movie for sure. I ain't seen 17 children
tearing apart an old woman
tearing
from her
apart
jaw.
Yeah, her
Ugh.
jaw and arms like
Ugh.
literally. So I'm just like, yeah, these new horror directors are doing shit I ain't seen. I ain't
Giving you
seen it.
new visuals,
Yeah,
new
Jordan Peele
ideas.
with Nope. I
Yeah.
ain't seen a cloud turn
Oh,
into a
man.
fucking Evangelion alien.
Yo, Nope was the shit. But yeah, let's get on the fuck up out of here.
Yep.
Appreciate y'all coming through. Folks, this has been the Review New Podcast. I'm DJ.
And I'm Will the Greatest.
And little weapon, we're calling